Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back to you with another weekly Shlog here from Highland Cycles, where we show you all kinds of cool dirt bike stuff. And yeah, dirt bikes, that's basically all we do. You'll notice there is a four-wheeler in here, Cody Abbott. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Cody's actually a very good friend and he talks me into working on that thing, but please, on the internet, don't tell anybody that we're working on ATVs. We got Richie back here, rock and rolling. Sadly, still on the Sherco. We got new seal and flywheel puller. That happened really quickly. Thank you, Sherco, for getting that done. But it's better. It's not as lean as it was, but it's still not awesome. We're fighting with the smart carb on this thing. I know you guys, a bunch of you love metering rod carburetors. But this one's being kind of a pain in the butt. So we're going to figure that out. Maybe it doesn't have the updated rod in it. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's what Richie's taking apart to figure that thing out. We got a lot of stuff going on this week, guys. But let's start with, oh, actually, hold on. We got to do the intro. All right, I'm going to start with some mail time because I have been not getting this done. It's been here for a little while. I got something super rad I got to show you. So our friends at CO Light or Co Light, right there, they reached out to me because they saw that I was doing something in Mexico, and they're like, hey, we got lights for bikes, and I already have lights, helmet lights and bike light for my XR650, so that's all good. But I did ask them if they had something that I could put on the van that we're going to be using for a chase vehicle, because if you've ever been to the Baja 1000 and chased a vehicle at night, it's real nice to have a whole bunch of light on your machine, even if you're on the road, because Mexico. Anyway, it's a thing. So they said, yeah, absolutely, we can help you out with that. So let me show you what we got. Boom. We got dual wicked nasty rad LED lights. Are going to be putting these on the bumper of my Ford Econoline that we're taking down there as a chase vehicle. So excited about that. That is absolutely out of hand. What is that? Let's see. So 14 LEDs per light. It's pretty sweet though, guys. It comes with everything you need to install: wiring harnesses, brackets, more wires, switches, everything. Actually, Richie is going to be helping with that, getting that machine all ready to rock and roll. So make sure you stay tuned. It's a little bit of automotive stuff, but it's actually pretty cool, especially if you guys are like me and you like to go traveling way off into the middle of the weeds, or you go racing and you get showing up to race sites late. It's really nice to have big lights on the van, so I'm super excited about that. All right, now let's get on to the next job. All right, kids, if you watch us often, you'll recognize this KX250F here, the one that was weak spark and definitely had a bad pickup coil reading. It was a little on the high side for ohms. It's actually way on the high side now that I think about it. I think it was supposed to be around 100, 150, and it was like at 250. So it was still working, sort of, kind of, but not great. So we've got a new one we're getting ready to replace. So this is it. This is classic with one that has a problem with the pickup coil. The stator looks fine. It's not all burnt and terrible. It's a little bit maybe off color from stock, but the pickup coil, you can't ever look and visually inspect that. So you better know how to test that thing. It's really simple. Voltmeter set to ohms and you're good to go. So let's get a new one, put that in there and see if this thing will spark better. Hopefully that is the last thing we have to do this to make it run well. And then we can get it back to the customer. If not, that will at least get us past that first hurdle of weak spark. And then we can move on to whatever else might be wrong with it. It is a KX 4-stroke, and they are sort of known for being piles of crap, to be honest. They run really good, but I can't tell you how many of these things we've had apart and worked on here. Comment below if you disagree with me. There are probably not going to be a lot of you guys who disagree with me. Comment below, though, if you do agree with me and tell me about your horror story with your KX250F. Let's swap the stator and we'll put it back on. Guys, I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. When you're dealing with the stators, they all have some sort of retainer. Make sure you pay attention to how that comes off and where it goes, because it's usually really important. You put these things in there. So let me show you. So it goes like that, so it keeps that wire back in there from wanting to flop out and get hung up on the flywheel. I've seen these things put in wrong, guys, or just left out because, I don't know, they just didn't think it was important or something. Make sure you pay attention to that. It's uber super important. Got a new gasket, new stator. As expected, it looks about like the other stator. Not a surprise. I'm just going to start these. Actually, I'm going to get some blue stuck nuts for that. The thread locker, official thread locker of Highland Cycles and Highland Cycles channels and everything I do. Make sure you guys check out stucknuts.com. I think I'll put a link in the description. Guys are rad. They give back to the community. They've already donated hundreds of dollars to some of our Trail Alliance groups, so very, very, very supportive of those guys. All right, we'll go install this sucker and then kick it over and see if it's sparking better. All right, guys, so I rolled it over. Nice, bright, consistent blue spark. Really happy about that. But I have to show you something. This guy got lucky, honestly. Probably that we had to be the next ones to work on it and no one else. Because check this out. There we go. So yeah, that's the drain bolt. And focus. Come on. You mother. There we go. So see how it's stretched? You got a little skinny right down in there. That thing was just about to break off. So we're going to put a new one of those in there. It's the first time I've seen that in a while. I've seen lots of that in the past, but usually they come in broken already. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna, I haven't done an anyway whatever comp or thing recently. I haven't talked to you guys about that. Let me know if I'm still saying it as often or if I'm saying it less or whatever. Yeah, gonna put this all back together, put some oil back in it, and then we'll kick it and see if it runs. All right, guys, got the tank all plugged in, fuel hooked up, oil in the bike. Check the coolant. Let's see if she's gonna start. Feels like it's maybe a little low on compression. We're gonna find out. Step one done. Looks like we're definitely going to step two. Spray a little bit of brake clean in there. We'll see if that makes it fire up. All right, so that's promising. Never mind. I'm gonna put the air filter back on it. It's not the best air filter, but it's not dirty. We'll put that back on there and see if that has anything to do with it. If there's just not enough, like it's just drawn too freely, which that kind of means maybe we got a compression issue, but let's see if that changes anything. I believe that the person who brought this, pretty sure they said they put a new fuel pump in it, so that shouldn't be the problem. All right, gotta keep checking stuff. All right, guys, so saw me unwrapping this. That's never good to see on a thing. It's acting like maybe throttle position sensor. I mean, it could be the fuel pump. It also could be, I don't know why, like why on earth did that ever happen right there? So I'm gonna see if I can get in here and adjust the throttle position sensor. The screw is like, unfortunately, really hard to get to. And see if I can maybe twist the throttle body down, loosen that up, twist it back up, and then fire it up and see if I can move it around. See if I can get this thing to handle better, because it's just not I don't know. We're gonna keep going. All right, guys. I think I got her dialed. Let me show you what I did. So after those horrible connectors, I decided to take this all apart and put them together with those solder butt joint connectors. And so that was way better. And I had a few of those wires, a couple of those wires just come out. So there's no way they were making good connection. And then I loosened that TPS and I moved it a little bit and I fired it up. And here, you guys listen, tell me what you think. So it seems pretty good. I'm definitely gonna have to let it sit overnight, and well, I had to spray a little brake clean in that the last time to get it fired up. But once I did that, and I had the TPS moved, the idle went through the roof, so I turned that down. I think the throttle was way too far open for it to want to start, because 4-strokes, especially fuel injected 4-strokes, don't like to be twisted, the throttle twisted when you're starting them. So I think we got it dialed in. We're definitely going to let this thing sit overnight. It's almost the end of the day today, and we'll let it sit overnight, come back in, and see if it starts up like it's supposed to. But we're definitely narrowing in on it, right? This is what I told you guys happens with a bike that's kind of hammered like this one. You got to just slowly work through all the problems until you get all of them done, and it just works. It's not smoking or anything like that. The oil was a little low. Not terrible, though. It wasn't real dirty, so hopefully we're good there. Hopefully it's not burning oil or anything like that. And yeah, anyway, we'll get on to the next job. We'll check in on this thing in the morning. All right, guys, this is the next day. The KX won't start without a little bit of brake cleaner. So I have got a call into the gentleman who owns this thing. I do have notes saying that they did something with the fuel pump. I don't really know. Anyway, we got to check in on that, see what they did, if they replaced it, rebuilt it, cleaned it. I don't know. A lot of times I've seen guys use the aftermarket rebuild kits, and I don't know, some of them work and some of them don't. I'm a big fan of just going with the OEM stuff. I know it's crazy expensive, but it also works. So waiting on that. Next job, though, is long awaited now. You guys have been talking to me, asking about this for a while now. The Xact spring forks for the new WP Xact spring forks on the 24 bikes. Got a set right over there off of that XC, and we're going to do that. I'm going to film an in-depth video for you guys, so Shlog fans, join along for some highlights. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe, notification bell, all that YouTube whateverness, and yeah, we're going to dig in. All right, guys, here is the first difference between this and, well, lots of other ones, is that the spring is captured with this little keeper. So you're going to have to push down like that and get that keeper out. There we go. So I'll take that. Now we can take the spring off. It does have a hydro stop, and that's actually, so guys, that's interesting. I've had some people complain about the 24 bikes not using all the travel very easily, and even no matter what they do with their clickers. And this would make sense, because that hydro stop is huge on this thing. It's usually, they're about half that length. It's just right at the bottom that it engages. This one, though, is going to engage right there, and you still have a fair amount of travel left. So that's another super different thing. All right, guys, ready to start putting this all back together. Let me give you a little money-saving tip. So we really like SKF seals a lot. They're very good. I think they're the best in the business. They're a little expensive. I think the heavy-duty ones are almost 40 bucks a side now, so like 80 bucks for, you know, retail. And they're really good, really great. They got the dual compound seals, which are actually really nice. Those are definitely probably worth the money. But if you're using just normal SKFs, I can show you this, guys. So this is the KTM kit. It comes with dust seals, oil seals, new circlips, washers, and the travel indicators. And if you look at it really close here, it says SKF Shorts. So these are SKF black. Shorts is black. So in German. But so these are just SKF seals. They're just black. This whole kit I think retails for around 50 bucks, 51 or $52 for everything, versus 80 bucks or 70 bucks for like the SKF, the green one. So definitely saving some money for here. And if you guys like saving money and you're going to order online, please consider using our link in the description below for Rocky Mountain ATV. They are the biggest sponsor of the channel. They are wonderful people. They take very, very good care of me. I know they take care of you when you order stuff. If you cannot get it locally, please shop local first. Go to your local dealer, your local shop, buy from them, keep them in business. If you can't get what you need, or you just don't like the guys at your local shop, then go to Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Use our link. Like I said, it's in the description below. You can also go to highland-cycles.com and click the first picture you see as the homepage. And go to Rocky Mountain, buy it from there. We get a little kickback. You get great deals. You get Rocky Mountain bucks and free shipping and all that good stuff. So anyway, let's take this apart and put these things together. All right, guys. So next job technically is on my lift. It's not this guy. We're still struggling with that. The fuel pump, I haven't gotten a hold of that customer yet. But is actually putting a new seat cover on here for our friend Mallory Carr. Make sure you guys check her out on the socials. I'll put all her links in the description below because she's rad. She's racing motorcycles. She's getting really fast. She's doing really, really good. So, and the more following she can get, the easier it is for her to get sponsors and go to races and all that good stuff. And she's a really, really, really great person. Good friend, has been for a long time. So we're going to install a seat cover. And it's been a long time since I filmed that. So I'm going to show you how we do that. All right, guys, one of the keys to doing seat covers is a super duper clean surface. So I'm using this pig mat here to get all the oil out of my tray. Make sure this thing is super clean, and then I'll hit it with brake clean on top of that to make sure it's dry. And then I'm actually going to get another one of these to put the seat on, because you don't want any fingerprints or dirtiness on there. You could probably wash it off afterwards, but when I hand it back to the customer, regardless of who it is, I want it to be pristine. Got Ultrasorbs from Brian Lynn. Brian, we are running low on these. Let me know how I could order another box of Ultrasorbs, because these things are absolutely sweet. They're bigger than those other pig mats that we use. They do the same job, maybe even better, but I love how huge they are. Like, they're massive. So there we go. Now we're going to remove the old seat cover. This is incredibly boring. Flat blade, staples, cue the time lapse. All right, got all the staples out, at least most of them. You usually end up finding a few more that like broke off or whatever, like that right there. So this one's junk. I'm gonna give it back to her. It's torn. I don't think she wants it, but we'll take care of it just in case. Now we're gonna go through, take a look, make sure there's no flyers sticking up like these. Little nubbins sticking up, so I'm gonna have to make sure we get rid of those. We don't want them to tear the new seat cover when we put them on. So I'm gonna have to, those are gonna be hard to get out. And part of the problem is these are all rusty from her keeping her bike super clean and nice, which is good, but it does rust these staples. They're not stainless steel staples. So all right, set that down for a second. Now the nice thing about doing it on this is we can now pick this up, dump it in the trash, all the staples. There we go. Fresh, clean work surface again. Now, part of also keeping these things clean and shiny is making sure your hands are super clean before you work on it. So I gotta go wash my hands. We'll come back and we'll start stretching this thing. All right, guys, one of the other keys to this is having a pneumatic stapler. You can do it with the hand style. They totally suck. Richie and I were just talking about that and how not fun that is. So having a pneumatic stapler is worth it. Harbor Freight sells one super cheap. If you're going to get into doing any kind of seat stuff, just buy one. Got our new Thrill Seeker seat cover. Super awesome. It's even got her own thing on it. That's so cool. These things are sweet. She runs, I think they're full graphics and everything. So here is how I do it. I'm sure there's other people do a great job too. I feel like we do a great job also. So what I do, I come here and I'm going to put a couple anchor staples right in here to start. Not worried about too much, although, so the main thing I'm worried about this is making sure it's lined up side to side. So make sure we're good side to side. I'm not too worried about stretching or anything yet. Just want to make sure we're squared out of the way. So we're just going to put 2 in there to hold it. Then come back to the back. And the deal is, you guys, you're going to want to pull it pretty tight, and it's going to stick up here. That's okay. We're going to take care of that as we go. But same thing with the back. I'm going to anchor the back down, make sure it's aligned side to side. I'm going to put 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch it down and over the seat like this. And this is where it gets to be, you know, you got to put the work in and take your time and make sure you get it nice and tight. And when I'm doing this, I'm only going to go, I'm only going to put like 1 or 2 staples in. I'll show you. Do 1. Is that sometimes as you go, you might have to readjust. You might have to pop a staple out, pull 1 out. So I just do 1 there. Then we're going to come down here. Make sure it's nice and tight. And as we get down here to these, you're going to have to tuck in underneath there, because these don't unbolt. They're riveted on there, so we can't take them off. On Yamahas, you can take those things off. It's really nice. All right, like I was saying, tuck that underneath there, and then come in here. And just keep taking a look and making sure everything seems to be pretty straight. And you see we've got kind of a flyer out here. The foam's actually shaped a little different here, so we're going to pull that in even tighter than you would on the other one, and try to get that. See, there we go, starting to go away, starting to get more symmetrical. Now it's all about just going back, and I like to just take my hands and pull like that and then staple. On this back section, you see it's kind of wrinkly. That's all right. We're just gonna get this back corner. Same with this side. I say just kind of roll it over. There we go, guys. Just gonna slowly work our way back up, pulling tight, making sure everything stays nice and centered on the seat so it looks good. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Oh, there we go. That turned out real nice. And there's some little like kinks and things like that. That's just from the packaging. That will go away as this thing sits on the bike and gets stretched. It's nice and tight. Everything feels good. Stoked about that. So yeah, and the cool thing, guys, if you go slow and like I said, do that one here, one here, one here, you can always come back and pull those out if you need to like adjust, move, or whatever. So yeah, that turned out good. On to the next job. All right, guys, real quick, Richie is cupping some balls and some mousse balls and putting them into a new tire. But I want to show you something, guys. That is the tire that they came out of. And this kid, he's a good kid. He's definitely a child. When the tire was done, he decided he's going to go do a whole bunch of burnouts and sliding around and whatever. But I can tell you that the mousse balls held up to that heat super well, amazingly well, actually. Normally, you heat a tire up like that, the mousse, whatever mousse would be in there, would be just junk. So, using the big gallon pumper jug of mousse juice. That makes Richie feel good. He's got tons of lube. He can just keep cranking out the lube. And but that mousse juice actually does seem to last long, guys. There'll be a link in the description. You can also, there's Amazon if you type in mousse juice, and then it's also mousse-juice.com. Like I said, I'll put that on the screen or below in the description, or you can Google it. You'll find it. Actually, careful Googling mousse juice. There's a site on there that is, you can probably guess what it is. It's interesting. So I love the mousse balls. We just got Richie a set. He's going to be installing those on his own bike here very soon, and trying those out. It'll be the first ones he's tried. I think he's going to like them a lot. And then, like I said, check out the mousse juice, guys. It does seem to last a lot longer than the other silicone stuff. And people have asked me a lot about Shlog and all that, and honestly, I'm sure that is also rad. I'm sure the Shlog is also good. It's silicone-based lubricant is what you're looking for. You don't want water-based. I don't know what else you would use. Silicone, water, something else. But anyway, the silicone-based is the way to go. So, all right, guys. Next on the lift or bench is we're doing some TBT revalving here, and actually doing some even cooler stuff on this. This is an AER fork off of a 23 300XC. Gentleman's been fiddling with his shims actually himself. He's really knowledgeable, knows lots of stuff about suspension. And he's been fiddling with it, and he's like pretty happy with it, but not 100% happy with it. He watched some of our videos and talked to me about the cone valve adaptation that we get from Solid Performance, and decided he would like to try that out. So I'm super excited because every one of these we've done, the people have been super, super happy with how it turns out. So let's take a look at the stock stuff. So there's the stock mid-speed valve, rebound on this side, compression on this side. There's the stock compression stack over there. These are not stock. He's messed with them. They're actually pretty different from stock now, and we are going to make them even more different from stock. But let me show you what we're doing, because the cone valve just replaces this piece. Dun, 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 here it is. Here is the cone valve. So pretty cool setup, guys. It's gonna go on like this, and now the compression will be controlled with this cone, and we're using a black cone because that's the more enduro-y, off-roady cone. They make a red cone, it's more moto, and then we're gonna have the rebound stack on this side. So yeah, should be really cool. I'm excited about this thing because everyone we've done, everybody's been super, super happy with it. You can see, like I said, you can see the difference in how that looks and works. It's, yeah, pretty cool. All right, guys, got the cone set up. It's pretty sweet how this works. So you just build a rebound stack up here. So we got our rebound stack, super happy with that. And then we got the black cone here. So when the oil comes through here, it goes down in, there's ports inside here, and then it pushes this cone. There's a cone that's held up by this spring. We run 0.2 float, which is what that is. They actually call for 0 float, just so 0 up and down, but kind of twists. We run just a little more float for the hard enduro-y, like nasty trail setup. Lets that cone move a little bit easier, gives a little more plush feel. So that's ready to rock and roll. Pretty excited about that. I'm going to put that back together, and then we're going to valve the base stack. But it is the end of the week, the end of the Shlog. If you are new here and you're brand new and you watched all the way to the end, consider giving us a thumbs up and also subscribing. If you watched this long into it and you haven't subscribed, you definitely need to. If you've been around here for a long time and you're part of the Punk Rock Club, I love you the most. You guys are rad. Again, I have to say a massive thank you to the biggest sponsor of the channel, Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Guys, please consider use the link in the description or go to highland-cycles.com. Click the first picture you see. That will take you to our link, or that will give us credit through Rocky Mountain ATV. We'll make a little bit of money. You guys save a bunch of money. You get free shipping, Rocky Mountain bucks, all that good stuff. Again, I cannot thank them enough. They've been huge. I love you guys. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on, but way more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!